All good things, unfortunately, must come to an end. And as such, we are at closing ceremonies for Tarpaw Furmeet, May of 2017. So, first things first, let me get an opportunity to recognize our staff one final time, and I kind of like to just go around as I see them. So, a big thank you to Honey and Ruko, who made our game room amazing yesterday. A big thank you to Gail, who I just saw, who handled all of our videography. There you are. A big thank you to the now absent Cosmo Fox, who did all of our photography over the weekend. A thank you to Comrade Noel Scrott for being an amazing DJ and all-purpose A big thank you, I'm kind of holding up, a big thank you, Mikey, where is that bitch? A big thank you to Mikey for all of our programming. A big thank you to our newest victim volunteer, Kenzie, who is now handling volunteers for us. A big thank you to Cedar for acting as our second animal control and making sure that no big has control. And speaking of, a huge thank you to Mark for navigating some very choppy waters over the weekend occasionally. And finally, a huge thank you to the person who basically kept me sane, even though he made me insane several times, Ion Otter, our assistant director. Sunday afternoon. I think I covered all the core staff. Did I miss anybody?
You!
Oh shit, I'm not important to me. Oh yes, my God, they're staring right at me. There are videographers at the moment, however, Tim and Drew, our registration team, are right there. Also, I'd like to have one moment for a round of applause for all of the animal control people who function also in a gopher capacity. So let's talk some numbers here. How many of you were at the first Tarpaw Furmeet we had in November?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go on. Sound. We're videography. You can't see the videography. Let's get some sound. Make noise. Woo! So, November 5th, 2016, there were a total of 110 tickets sold for the event. I am very happy and proud to say, okay, so locals, I'm going to say this right now. I know that I annoy the living hell out of many of you as I try to plug this event. Whether it's FWA, whether it's in Telegram, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's at the monthly pull-in meets. Some of you are to the point where you are just sick and tired of hearing the sound of my voice. However, because of those efforts and because more of you showed up, we capped out at 141 tickets sold this weekend. Growing. I don't discuss numbers outside the board of directors. However, we were financially solvent. We made all of our money back plus some. Now, while we're talking about money, one last pitch. We have 6 XL t-shirts and 6 2XL t-shirts available. $20 and $25 respectively. I know some of you are unhappy about our wristband situations. Unfortunately, for the model that we're using for 2017, the wristbands are going to be the thing that we use for October, for what we hope will be one final time. Now, let's talk about October. Some of you know we might have an event coming up in October, right? Yeah. We said the idea was basically to use this year as a series of smaller events to kind of train the staff, to get the staff burned into actually running a con, so our staff grows as our con grows. So, October is pretty much going to run the same way that this weekend ran. We are considering, well, I should say, another hotel is considering us. We will either be back at the Hampton or the Hilton Garden Inn right up the hill would also like to host us. However, we will have the Friday night welcome dance, just like we had. We will be out at the Elks Lodge all day on Saturday, doing pretty much what we did. We'll modify the program a little bit. And then Sunday, the final Sunday, we will be back out here for our picnic. But you all know that this is part of a bigger plan, right? Well, what is the bigger plan for these small events that we're building up to?
Take over the world!
All right, Pinky.
Not yet, Pinky. We are looking to put together a hotel-based convention. The planning committee and I would like to ask all of you to kindly reserve either Martin Luther King weekend or the weekend after Martin Luther King for a hotel-based convention. We've taken a look at the events that are happening in the area. We've taken a look at the events that are happening in the region. We think that the January timeframe is going to be the best for us for doing a full hotel con. Yes, we have further confusion going on, but let me just get a show of hands. How many of you are going to further confusion this year? I see, is that a scratch or a hand up? I see a scratch, so I see no hands. How many of you, instead of watching everybody having an awesome time at Further Confusion, would rather be at a hotel-based con here having an equally awesome time? So, Tarpaw Furmeet, we are planting our flag on the East Coast for Martin Luther King weekend. We acknowledge we are not going to be as big as Further Confusion yet, but we are going to target that as our weekend. Now, the problem is being the end of May, it's not as easy getting that weekend, but our plan is January with the eventual plan of settling down into the MLK weekend. So stay tuned on social media, stay tuned on Telegram, because we are going to have details about the first full Tarpaw Furmeet. Now, the question you're asking is, but wait a minute, you've got this October event coming up. What are you going to do with that? You can't call it Tarpaw Furmeet when you're doing Tarpaw Furmeet in January. So we decided Halloween is a kick-ass time for furries, isn't it? Yeah. Costuming, the fursuiting, the werewolf thing. So,
$350 fine.
starting this October is going to be a small transition event. We are going to do an annual Halloween party, a one-day thing at the Elks Lodge, just like we did yesterday. We are calling it Howler's Eve. So, October, the 27th through the 29th, Tarpaw Furmeet presents Howler's Eve. This is going to be the 1 year that the two identities kind of overcross. After that, Howler's Eve will be its own thing in October. Tarpaw Furmeet will be its own thing in January. So stay tuned. Now again, January is the big one. I know a lot of people, even though if you saw the pictures this morning, a lot of people didn't get hotel rooms, even though I'll tell you, the Hampton had a kick-ass buffet. How many people stayed at the Hampton and saw the breakfast buffet?
Woo!
How many people at the Hampton ate at the breakfast buffet? Where we're talking eggs, sausage, biscuits, gravy, a waffle machine. So, tons of bacon. In January, it's going to be absolutely critical if we go hotel mode to get people to book rooms in the hotel. The nice thing is we will be there all weekend, from Friday afternoon to Sunday evening. So I know a lot of people are like, well, why should I get a hotel room when we're going to be in, a hotel on Friday, the Elks on Saturday, and pulling on Sunday? Absolutely. But in January, one place, one hotel, one weekend, one con. So, Howler's Eve tickets are now available on Eventbrite. The link went live about an hour ago. I was up until about 2 this morning, setting the Eventbrite site up. We're gonna run it the same way we did this one. General admission, $30 in advance, $35 at the door. Sponsor packages will be available for $100. Super sponsors will be available for $150. Did you get it? Yep. All right. So, any final questions before we kind of head our separate ways until the end of October? Yes.
Saturday night, we had somebody come to the door saying, I just heard about this. We managed to get them into the door with a picture of the ID, but yes, they hadn't heard about us until that night. So yes, keep plugging it. All of you, keep plugging it.
There are some people out there that are Luddites and still get their news from the newspaper.
Yeah, we don't want to go to the newspaper.
I think what our esteemed associate director is saying is, please endure me when I ask to speak to groups about Tarpaw Furmeet. Please understand that just because you heard about it, it doesn't mean that everybody else has heard about it. And to be absolutely honest, we could put on an amazing event. Let me ask, how many of you thought this weekend was amazing? You all are our best advertisements. So it's not just me. When people see me in Telegram, they're going, "Oh my God, I know he's talking about Tarpaw because his visa's going to take a hit if it doesn't make money." But all of you, the only thing you have to gain is founding an amazing convention. So go out and talk to people. If you enjoyed yourself this weekend, tell people about it. When I start talking about Howler's Eve in October, tell people about it. When we announce the hotel in January, tell people about it. That is the big thing. You are the best PR for our convention. So, any other final thoughts in our few minutes together? Yes?
If I may, real quick. A lot of you probably know me, and a lot of you probably don't. My name is Doitsu. That's what I go by. I am the World of Furries page representative for Facebook. We have 66,000 likes. And I actually am here, and we are planning on sharing Tarpaw and the future conventions here on the World of Furries Facebook page. So if you have any questions about, maybe you don't want to go to the Tarpaw website or something, and you're already on Facebook, we will have it as an event posted on our page, just so that you can look it up and see when the dates are and where it will be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, speaking of finances, we are, like the switch just said, we are going to launch a
Sir,
con.
you are a soft-spoken man. Come to the
Sorry.
microphone.
We are trying to launch a con. Cons do take money. We will need your support. We will need your avid support. So if y'all can sponsor, if y'all can sponsor, if you can super sponsor, please do so. Every penny counts, and this weekend has been amazing for me. I super sponsored, I usually don't do that. And this has been awesome. It's just been hands down, I really needed this, and when y'all super sponsor, magic happens. So if you can, do it.
He not only super sponsored, but worked his skinny ass off all weekend to make this happen. All the food we've had this weekend, Cedar's probably the only person who's lost weight this weekend. And now, a word from Mikey.
Hello. Okay, I just want to give you guys a quick announcement. If you guys have any ideas for programming for the future, please, I'm reading that a bit. Please let me know. I'm very friendly.
No.
Yes, I am. I'm very friendly. Approach me. Let me know about any ideas that you may have. Okay. So, just saying, if you have ideas, they're stewing in your head, and you actually want to see them come to fruition, let me know. Either contact me on Telegram or approach me in person. Okay.
Any final comments or questions about kind of our future, where we are, what's happening in October, what's happening in January? Yes, Garnet.
What exactly will be January, or do you have any official dates yet for current?
We do not have an official date yet. Like I said, we are ideally looking for Martin Luther King weekend because we think that everybody who is at least federally connected would enjoy having that Monday off for kind of a travel decompression day. Unfortunately, being May, trying to find space in January may be a little easier said than done based on the hotel. I can tell you, so again, I'm gonna let you look behind the curtains a little bit here. When I originally went looking for a hotel, the reason why we were in the Hamptons is because I went to the Hilton Garden Inn, which looks absolutely amazing. It is a gorgeous property, and it's not to say that the Hampton isn't an amazing property, but the Hilton Garden Inn is just beautiful to look at, amazing facilities. And they originally said, okay, so we can take you on May 19th, no problem. And then about 2 or 3 days later, I got an email from my salesperson, and she said, so we kind of have a problem. Another group has come in, and they've taken the ballroom that you wanted to rent. Can we move you down the hill to the Hampton? And I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do that for the time being, as long as we get the Hilton Garden Inn in October. So she says, okay, so we will earmark you for the Hilton Garden Inn in October. Then I found out, about a week and a half ago, she said, it's not that, you're a new customer, this is the first time that we've worked with your group, so your group is kind of on a probationary, the way that any new customer would be on like a first visit probationary thing. Let's talk about October once we know that we're going to be a good fit. Well, by about 7 o'clock on Friday night, I had the managers of both facilities saying, you're a good fit, we want you back, you're a good fit, we want you back. So I can tell you there are 2 properties that I am looking at right now. The Hampton and Hilton Garden Tree Crabtree are a pair of the properties, which means we'll have events divided between them. So in other words, main events will probably be happening at the Hilton Garden Inn. The dealers area and some breakout areas will be down at the Hampton. Again, if you think about it, if people complain about it, people walk farther to go from their hotel room to the programming area in Midwest Fur Fest than you would to go from one hotel to the next hotel. So we may have to split between buildings for a little bit until we can find a hotel big enough to accommodate us, and we are big enough to justify moving into a hotel. So that is property 1. The other property we are having some issues with, I can't really speak about, but again, we will not know the dates until I can find a hotel. So in other words, the reason why I say this is we may be at the Hilton Garden Inn and the Hampton Crabtree for Martin Luther King, but we may not have all of the space available. So we might have to share with a group on Saturday night. I'm not quite sure yet. So, next question. Or last question. All right, so one more thing before we officially break. Super sponsors, Cedar was just talking about super sponsoring. Our final event for the evening is the super sponsor dinner. If you paid for a super sponsorship, if you have a green acetate badge, your dinner is covered as part of your super sponsor fee. Animal control, if you have on a clear animal control badge, you are welcome to join us. Staff, I've been feeding y'all since like freaking February, so why not? Y'all can tag along for one more meal. But if you are not a super sponsor, if you are not animal control, if you are not staff, you are welcome to join us at our restaurant, but we love you, but we're not buying your food. However, Stromboli's is an amazing little mom and pop Italian place. The manager absolutely adores us. Tara is kind of like, the ex-member of the Tarpaw Planning Committee. So if you want to join us at Stromboli's, go to the Telegram group, download the PDF. The address is there. If you want to grab me very quickly before we leave, I can give you the address. So again, just because we have to be out of here at 5 o'clock, it doesn't mean that the weekend necessarily has to end. Please join us for dinner at Stromboli's. If you are staff, animal control, or super sponsor, you get to eat the catered buffet. Everyone else, I would recommend the ravioli Sorrento. So, thank you everybody for, what are you doing? Fox, what are you doing? Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you everybody for your support. Final plug, I've got 6 t-shirts of each size, XL and 2XL. Please buy them. We will see all of you in October. Be safe. Oh, and one more thing. To our friends in the alt fur who thought they were going to crash our party, We're still here, kids.
Oh,
Wait. You just took the thunder out of my dramatic close. No.
Thank you, Snooks, for actually getting this all together. So let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, all of you. So we will see you in October, and anyone who wants to join us in Stromboli's, join us in Stromboli's. Thank you, folks.